In early January, police carried out an operation cracking down on groups belonging to the Mapuche people in southwestern Argentina. 14 people died in the raid and 11 were arrested. 2 years ago, members of a group calling themselves the Autonomous Mapuche Movement Mapu occupied some 1,200 hectares of an 840,000-hectare piece of land owned by the Argentinian branch of the Benetton fashion label. The Mapuche group also blocked passengers from boarding the state-owned tourist train La Trochita for the last year. They founded a resistance community, Pueblos en Resistencia de Cuchamen, in the remote region. Their members hide their faces for fear of reprisals. We are fighting for guarantees for the land that belongs to our people. We want our people to have better lives. Mapuche live in the cities, but they can't live like Mapuche there. The indigenous resistant group has bigger plans. We started with 1,200 hectares, but we want to grow until we have expelled the capitalists. In the late 19th century, the Argentinian state conquered traditional Mapuche land in what became known as the Desert Campaign. Buenos Aires leased the land to finance the costs of that campaign. This field, for example, was leased to the Company of South Argentinian Lands. 100 years later, the Benetton Trading Company applied to use the land for agriculture and forestry. But in 1994, the new Argentinian constitution recognized land ownership rights for indigenous people who lived here before Argentina's War of Independence began in 1810. The courts ordered compensation in the form of land that was suitable and acceptable for the development of human life. In Argentina, there are 1 million indigenous people. Some 200,000 of them are Mapuche. A spokesman for Benetton Argentina disputed that the Mapuche have rights to Argentinian land because he says they come from Chile. The arrival of the Mapuche there, where these incidents are taking place, happened at practically the same time the Argentinians arrived. But the government in Buenos Aires recognizes the Mapuche as an indigenous people. In Argentinian schools, students are taught that the Mapuche arrived before the country's independence. Nevertheless, the state has not moved to take action on their territorial claims. Benetton says the local resistance group has connections to another organization which has reportedly carried out arson attacks. The fashion company also accuses the group of unlawful occupation, livestock theft, arson, and the abduction of one of its employees. This is why we are deeply concerned. We're dealing with a very violent group. The regional authorities describe the group as a terrorist organization. However, the Argentinian High Court has already rejected this description. Some Mapuche also complain of violence from local authorities. One resistance member says some of the title holders have staged attacks to portray themselves as victims. They're not our people. We are the Pueblos en Resistencia de Cuchamen, and we all know each other very well. Everyone should take care of their own business. Human rights organizations have also accused police of repression. Dialogue is the only solution. The groups occupying and living on the land cannot be evicted until a final court judgment in the case.